What it do? Thank you for everybody tuning in for another edition of Live on Sunday. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate it. I go by the name King Crowder, man. Thank you for tapping in with me. Comment, like, share the live, share the live, share the live. First thing, man, like I always do on my Sundays, book of the week. This one, if you want to learn how to deal with people, how to operate with people, how to cultivate relationships, how to understand people from different perspectives, backgrounds, this is a phenomenal book by Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature. He is the gentleman that started the book, The 48 Laws of Power, which is a phenomenal read. But he also has a later book installment talking about the laws of human nature that dive into how do humans think, how do we operate, what do we do, what motivates us, who motivates us, and how to deal with people from all different backgrounds and walks of life. Laws of Human Nature is very detailed, but it's a worthwhile read if you have to increase your people skills. The number one skill, like I tell everyone, that you have to learn in life in general is how to deal with people. Any skill, any talent, anything that you have to deal with will always be people understanding and people enhancing. And that goes into tonight. Tonight's live is titled The New Era of FBAs versus the Old Guard Conversation. Roland Martin and the others are not going to like this. The reason why this conversation came about to me this week, y'all, is because really I had to go and watch a lot of national cable movie broadcasts. And when you watch the cable news networks, y'all, I know we live on the internet. I know we're the hip foundation. We are aware of what's going on in the streets. But if you actually watch cable news TV, y'all, it is shocking how different the generational gap is from older Black Americans to the new FBA energy 35 and under. We don't speak, talk, think, or operate the same. Why is this important that I'm bringing this up? Most of the grassroots media is unified. Most of the Black media that we see is codified. Remember, it is not for the people that are codified that we have these conversations. We have to re-educate, re-inform, reteach, regather, and re-break down our steps to make them worthy. But the biggest thing that I love that I saw while watching the online media was a young brother, shout out to him, that goes by Melrose Audio Media. If you haven't seen it, I want to play it to give him his flowers.
I want to be treated like a person.
I'm going to skip it ahead a little bit so the brother can start talking.
Your mind. Step up, tell us your name, and briefly, what's on your mind?
Hey, yo, as I look around this room, if you're 35 years old or younger, raise your hand. 4 people. So here's the thing. Y'all in trouble. Yesterday, you had Al Green up here talking about we need a Secretary of Reconciliation, and then that's going to include what he said was reparations, which, by the way, wasn't reparations. Reparations is more than a check, but the very first thing it is a check. And come this year during the midterms and in 2028, if you don't have our check, you won't get no vote. No check, no vote. Yeah, I know that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what's happening. All of y'all in here, with all due respect, you're beautiful, but you're old. You're not talking to the youth. You don't know how to talk to the youth. You're trying to tell us what to do. We're not having it no more. So if you want our vote, you got to come with our paper. We're not scared of Trump. We're not scared of anybody. Biden is a racist. Trump is a racist. Kamala is a racist. And if you don't have our money, you don't get our vote. Yeah, not. Who are you?
The reason why that was such a groundbreaking moment, ladies and gentlemen, I actually had some of my relatives hit me up and ask me about this. Grandmothers, church forgoers, other people in our family. there is a severe disconnect of even asking for tangible resources from the older generation. This brother Shell spoke truth to power. But what he also did, y'all, in real time was talk about the unapologetic conversation that is happening amongst millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and some Gen X. There is a mental revolution, renaissance, delineation era, all those things we talking about that are happening. And the reason why this was such a big deal, y'all, it is no longer not avoidable. It's not avoidable. It's not something that you can shame and say that we got to think about. It is not a talking point handed to a think group. It is not something that's corporatized. It is something 100% that Black people think about on their own. Why is it scary? You got to understand, it is an issue based off numbers and voting things that are going on in this country. The voting block, the voting numbers, the statistics, the information, everything is skewing towards a younger audience. With that being skewed towards a younger audience, you have to re-engage. And when you re-engage and you go to somebody else's turf, I want to talk about, like, it's business right here, y'all. It's cool when you have to come to me. But now that I have to generate leads, now that I have to prospect, now that I have to create new customers, new voting blocks, I have to figure out what that customer cares about. I have to listen, and I also have to meet them halfway. I can't say to you, this is what I'm going to do for you. If you are a new customer or somebody new that's in a base that I'm trying to re-enter into me, I can't agree with you. I have to listen. I have to bend the knee. I have to be willing to make grounds to what you want. And the old guard way of thinking would have never thought this way, because generationally, y'all, we have taught to respect our elders, which we generally do. But now we are no longer wanting to integrate, wanting to assimilate, wanting to go along to get along. We are no longer going to listen to shut up and dribble. And the reason why is we see what is required to compete in the marketplace. So when the new FBA energy is addressing the old guard and what they're talking about, this is a huge component piece. Remember, all talking points, all elections, all vocal varieties, all vocal boxes are decentralized now. The corporate media that we know as an entity does not have the sway, the movability, or have the ability to change like they did 20 years ago. In the year 2006, they could literally control that. But right now, it is amazing how far we have came. And the reason why I wanted to show you that video up front, I wanted you to see the reaction. I know Brother Al Sharpton deserves all his criticisms, right? I'm not going to say that. But I want y'all to think about this. This brother was a civil rights in the program, in the streets, one of the ones that was moving and grooving, making things happen. And I want you to listen to how he responded when that brother who spoke truth to power, what the foundation want, how he responded. Pay attention.
In terms of our report for the year, and then we're going to go on with the program. Our young people are rehearsing, getting ready for the this afternoon is our youth day. I heard somebody talk about young people. They tell them to just stay around. They're going to see two people, afternoon, all of the youth in there. And I don't know, but you get provocateurs, because anybody that...
Did he really say the word provocateur? Isn't that what they used to call a lot of Black Americans who spoke about what they wanted and what they demanded at one point in time? When you hear words like this, y'all, that is a symbolic gesture of dismissal. That means what you say has no sway. I'm not listening, and it's not true.
Talking to somebody younger than them holding the mic, then you know that they paid agents.
Remember, paid agents, provocateur, not addressing the problem.
And if you're in the room, if you don't like me saying that, I'll say it again. Because you cannot get reparations without putting people in office that's going to pay them.
What he doesn't understand is that people have saw that no migrant put people in office and they got tangible benefits. That notion would have worked if we didn't see it happen for people who were not even citizens. That notion would have worked 5 years ago if nobody got benefits that weren't even belong to be here. But now that we have seen, not heard, not read, we have saw with our two eyes who have gotten support and monetary benefit in real time. You can't make me see that or unhear that.
So talk that ignorance somewhere else.
And pay attention, y'all. The word ignorance is used, especially for my older generation, to not address the problem. Follow me. You don't want to talk about how you disrespected me or hurt my feelings. I'm going to say it's ignorant to pivot the conversation and not address the issue. You're going to say I'm ignorant because I don't like your tone. What you're actually saying is that the tone that you're using to address something that needs to happen, I don't like it. So I'm going to pivot, deflect, and move away from that conversation. No, Brother Sharpton. The same talking points you use on younger black men who are vocally expressing themselves about the treatment of the foundation was said against you in the civil rights movement. That's the irony of it. You heard this brother flatly be dismissed publicly, and what you decide to do is the same exact thing they did to you during the civil rights era. Let's let it keep cooking. And remember, y'all, the applause, the cheerment is all a form of agreement. Stop making it difficult for us. Stop applying pressure and making the workplace and the work setting toxic. I wanted to be peaceful like it was during Obama. For them, not for everybody else. I don't want to fight. I don't want to get in these streets. I don't want to battle anymore. You are making it difficult by challenging the system and the status quo by saying what you have not gotten. We are clapping because we agree with Brother Sharpton because we don't want no problems.
No, people talking about we have been for all of our existence fighting for reparations, made every candidate pledge to it. You cannot get reparations unless you elect folks that's going to pay it. Who you going to pay yourself?
Then how did immigrants get tangible benefits without being an electoral vote that we were voting for? If what you said was 100% true, remember, we're following the tea leaves. If what you said was the only way to get something to move and groove is to do what you say, how did other people get tangible benefits that came to this country without doing what the foundation had to do? A flaw in the argument. Again, not addressing what he's saying.
So you can't, at one hand, say, but don't vote for everybody, they racist, but I want reparations. Well, who gonna pay you? So either you paid or you stupid or both.
Catch the ad hominems. Ad hominems are direct, subtle, disrespectful, not addressing the issue, but attacking the person.
I mean, I don't see nobody standing up. I didn't see whoever it was, but yeah, okay.
You didn't see, but he heard you. You heard him. You didn't see who the brother was, but he definitely stuck you in the chest. That definitely hit home based off your reaction. That truth that brother was saying hit deep. It hit deep because in that moment you realize how far the differences of philosophy we are. In that moment, amongst your peers, amongst your age group, it was safe. But once you had somebody that was a different ethnic young generation speaking about what the grassroots media speaks about, you felt uncomfortable. And when you felt uncomfortable, you know it's really happening. There's no way you can avoid the subject of reparations. There's no way you can avoid the subject about Black foundation of justice. There is no way you can avoid these issues. And the reason why we got to stop and talk about this, y'all, is because the old guard really does not have a response to it. They don't have a response. I had my mother call me, son, why is it hostility? It's not hostility. It is addressing the issue. Remember, y'all, the first word in conflict resolution is what? Conflict. The first word in conflict resolution is conflict. We got to have an issue before we get this thing right. We got to battle. We got to discuss. We got to have a vocabulary scrimmage. We got to have an intellectual discourse. Something must happen before change does. And what change is that we understand now amongst the younger foundation that we review notes. We review notes, we check report cards, we listen on in, we look back throughout history, we make decisions, we see how presidential and people candidates move now, we see how easy it is to get things done, we watch, we correct, and we respond accordingly. So the funny thing about that, when we exchange notes, when I told y'all, we exchange notes and information now. And with that exchange of notes and information, we see patterns. We see duplicates. We watch behavior. We listen. We try to pay attention. And we watch him with your actions. If you do not know who this gentleman is, he is governor of Maryland, Westmore. Pay attention to who he emulates.
These are our taxpayer dollars that are being used to do this. This is, we are now watching how our gas prices continue to skyrocket. Energy prices continue to skyrocket.
What it do, y'all? My bad. What it do? What's up, Claire? What's up, Nitro? Shout out to you. What it do? What it do? Shout out to you, Shamika. Shout out to your FBA auntie. I'm 66. Big facts, y'all. We just chopping it up. No age discrimination. All love. Shout out to y'all. Let's keep cooking.
Groceries are more expensive. And we are doing this foreign war that none of us asked for, but it's being done.
I want y'all to close your eyes and just listen to him and tell me who you hear.
Our name. And so I think about the fact that as the president of the United States, and most importantly, as the commander in chief, you owe it to us.
You owe it to who? Specifically. You owe what? Specifically.
You owe it to us. You owe it to these soldiers, these sailors, these airmen, and the Marines. You owe it to them to make sure that, one, they need to know that any time that military force is used, that was the last resort. Anyone and any of these people who are thinking about 2028, I need to see that you're taking 2026 seriously. I don't want to hear woulda, coulda, shouldas.
I'm going to say it, y'all, if y'all ain't got it yet. He reminds, talks, speaks, and mimics like Barack Obama. He looks that way. He talks that way. He responds that way. He comes across as inviting to me. Safe, easy to digest, non-confrontational. Nobody that is going to go against the status quo. What Governor Westmore does not understand is Obama caught a once-in-a-lifetime lifeline that will not be replicated. What you're saying, who you are talking to, what you are saying was old, your feelings, your thought processes, you will be asked the direct question among the foundation. You want to know what the direct question is? Are you for or against linear-based reparations? There's no way to avoid it. You tried to answer earlier this year and it went terribly. I hear you talking, brother. But in the political space and avenue we are now, as much as y'all like to talk bad about Trump, that's the strategy, right? The one thing y'all don't want to admit that Trump does, and I'm not endorsing the brother, I'm not. He shows you that what you do for your base matters the most. If your base is going to be Black Americans, younger Black Americans, you have to do what they want, period. There is no way around that. You don't have to do it if it's popular. You don't have to do if people don't support it. You don't have to do any of those things. Throughout history, currently, right now, President Trump showed you. If I'm the president, I ride for my people. Good, bad, or indifferent, I can do that. So what Westmore represents is the clean cut, the safe, the neutral party, the presidential look. And what they don't understand is that that era is not there anymore, dog. Right now, we are in the era of American citizens first. So all that neutrality, be polished, look, speak a certain type of way, it will not transcend on the pavement. It will not transcend in the streets. People want to hear direct conversations, dog. People don't want to hear you mumbling over your words. People don't want to hear that bull job you spewing. No, sir. You got to be 100, direct, candid, and overall, you got to be transparent. Good, bad, or indifferent. That is what the streets want. That is why everything as far as those big media things are not supported. They're not. And it's kind of funny. I heard the Al Sharpton. I heard the first brother speak openly. You hear Al Sharpton's rebuttal, and now you hear open governor speaking and explaining.
I don't want to hear, well, what I would have done is, not while our people are hurting like this. I want to see action. I don't want to see you tell me about the 12-point plan or the 5-year analysis or the...
So we'll ask you direct more. I'm glad you said that, brother. I'm glad you said you want to see the action. What are you going to do for the foundation? What is your action-based, tangible plan you're going to do? Mic in your face. All that other stuff that you flapping your gums, that you partially saying, show us what you going to do. All that other rhetoric, man, we don't care about, dog. Seriously. We hear you, but we are not responding, and that is partially and mainly the issue that you have.
No. What are you doing right now to protect, to heal, and to build? Because if you show me what right is supposed to look like, then I can tell you whether or not I trust you with our future. And so I'm very clear and I'm locked in. I'm not just trying to win in November, but I'm telling you, in Maryland, we're going to send a message. We're going to send a message in Maryland. But I'm telling you, while I tell people, you know, I'm hungry, but I'm not thirsty.
You know, it's kind of funny, man. Even the humor is similar to Obama. And I really don't think that Wes Moore or a lot of the people that he's getting his talking points understand how different the world and what the expectations are. Why did I want you to see this? I wanted you to see this, y'all, because when we talk about the old guard thinking versus the new energy that we got to go on, we got to constantly update our files to hear, to see, to watch, and observe what they are doing. This brother is a potential Democratic presidential candidate. Being a potential Democratic presidential candidate, I want you to watch what he's going through. I want you to see the policies. I want you to ask the tough questions, and I want you to have the intellectual discourse with these individuals. What do I mean is when they have a forum, you go. What I mean is when they have an email open, you send. When you have a phone or anything else, y'all, these people are voted to represent your interests. If you don't know, I'm going to give you a crash course. Remember, the representative is put into office to vote on your initiatives. Remember, you represent me. I vote for you to represent my interests. Voting is a strictly individualized issue. That's why you can't be aligned a lot of the time. That's why people try to shame you this, you MAGA. Man, don't worry about that. You are supposed to vote for your best interests. Because politics, I'm going to summarize it for you. Politics is the subject of who gets what. Who gets this funding? Who gets this tax incentive? Who gets this resource? Who gets this new program? What county or what zip codes get this check invested into them? Whenever you hear the story of politics, I want you to break it down quickly into the subject of who gets what. So these leaders, the people that we're voting for, do represent what we get. So the first question we should always ask is, what are we getting? Not symbolic, not a gesture. The message will be out of office soon. Big facts, y'all. Happy that Nitro, I don't blame you, a powerful younger fact. But like I said, y'all, let's keep going. That is the whole initiative, conversation, and things we got to lean into. Because if not, y'all, like I'm going to tell y'all, it's not that I'm just sharing this message, that I'm showing these videos. I want you to always check your notes. And when we check our notes, we got to review. We got to review what people are saying. And as I got the brother in the thumbnail tonight, his subject and his talking point was scaremongering. It's insulting. Whenever Brother Roland speaks to younger foundational Black Americans, it's insulting. It's belittle. It's talking down to. It's you are dumb. It's F word this. It is never, let me hear you out. Because as a leader in my life, among my family, among my children, among my household, among the whole crowd of gangs, shout out to the Crowders. As you lead your family, the number one rule you got to learn as a leader, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to listen. It's kind of funny. The more you lead, the less you talk and the less you do. Because the people up under you will want to do the things. They just want to run the idea by you. Follow me. If you are a leader among anybody, your number one job is to listen to your people. It's to be in the field with them. Is to talk with them, is to engage with them, is to have intellectual discourse with them, is to have uncomfortable conversations with them, but it is never to insult your audience, your customers, your employees, your co-workers, your initiatives. Your job is always to listen. So when you have these older philosophy thinking from the old guard who think it's funny, it's laughable, who think it's hyperbolic to speak down to you, no matter your background, no matter your economic status, no matter what you're going to, it is our job, if you are a leader, to listen, not to judge, not to talk shit, not to cast, but to listen and hear you out. And I want you to hear what these old guards say to people who do not want to hear them out.
That means the legislation has to go through them. So that's why I'm trying to get people to understand how how they vote in this election will have broader implications across the country for public policy and Black political power. And
I want to ask y'all a question, y'all. How we've been voting, everything that we've been trying to do, tell me the power move of the philosophy that you've been going into. How has it benefited us? Let's go. I hear you. You've been in office. You've been giving rhetoric. You've been giving your talking points. You've been expressing your point of view from your philosophy, Mr. Martin, which I will never disrespect you because you are elder. People older than you can. But seriously, from your philosophy, as we've graded it for the past 3 elections, national and local, what would you grade it? Would you think we've made progress? Do you think that black citizens have got it what they wanted? Do you think that most black voters, younger and older, are heard? Do you think they feel valued? Do you think the black constituents that you are requesting to support, honor, and vote for people that you say, would you grade them, and what is the grade you will have on what they did specifically for black people? We're not talking about in general. We're not talking about a big old overview. We're not talking about a lift all program. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's lay it on the pavement. As we lay it on the pavement, as we sit it down, as we have an honest conversation, what would you grade them? Is it passing? Is it an F? Is it an A+ for all goals and all progress is made in a positive direction? If we look at our children, are they being supported? If we look at our schools, are they being funded? If we look at our tax dollars, are they being reinvested in us? Those are the questions that younger black Americans are asking. We are asking because the numbers are there. We go outside of our community, we see. We look out and see with the migrants, we see who's working at these jobs. We look at the solar programs of the people around us. We're looking and we're asking. And this is just me, y'all. Growing up in this country, family raised in this country, former descendant of slaves, earned from the freedom lots of land, moved all around, tried to be aspirational, growing, figuring things out. But do the average brother and sister have the opportunity that was promised to us? Or are we in a worse situation that we've ever been? Let them cook some more.
In about 15 minutes, if that happens, then our guest in 15 minutes will be just like you, making history as the first black speaker of the House. That's why the election matters.
And that's why it's so important. That's why folks are doing everything in their power. We've never seen this unprecedented amount of deception.
They pulling the KKK out.
When they pulled Jim Crow,
they scared.
They pulled Jim Crow and the KKK and every image to try to scare the heck out of black folk. Like, oh my God, we're going back to slavery.
I want to say something, y'all. You will be the first black speaker of the House. What does that mean for the black community, man? We understand that you will be physically getting a job promotion, and that is a good thing. But when I'm asking you, you getting into the Speaker of the House at Virginia State University, shout out to Petersburg, VA, not too far from Hampton, the HBCU, y'all, if you didn't know, what the hell does that got to do with us? You're on the program talking about what you will get, what you want, what you expect, but you are not leading with what you will do. Roland is not leading about, yo, I'm the Speaker of the House. This is what I will be advocating for. This is what I will be championing for. This is what I will throw out there, those initiatives. When you make that statement that you are getting a promotion, phenomenal. Congratulations. I hope you get it. When you get that promotion, what would that do for the foundation? You have to understand, moving forward, this question will be at the frontal lobe, the front mind amongst all of us. The foundation are changing notes. We watching. We know what the Speaker of the House does. He introduces new legislation. Will you introduce reparations? Will you introduce an anti-black crime bill? Will you introduce a data center to watch black hate crime and statistics? Will you introduce federal law legislation to hit those type of things? You have that ability. It might be unpopular. Everything Trump do is unpopular. Everything that they've done is unpopular, but they still do it. That's the key that we got to understand in real time, in real lane. This got to be Steve Harvey. So that's actually funny, though. I'll give you that. But now, no Steve Harvey. My father's name is Herb. Shout out to my father. Love your daddy. Herb, man, that's my daddy. Delineate. You always say that, Terrence. You always say that. But let's keep cooking, y'all. I'm going to go on, let the brother play some more before we keep talking, man.
Yeah, that's how much they're lying right now. And so it's so incumbent upon us right now that we get out and do everything that we can to vote, because Texas, basically, Trump called Texas and said, I need 4 or 5 seats. Get them for me. And they did it. And they did it in a...
You know why they did it? Because he delivers on what they're going to tell him to do. Remember, Trump is a business guy. Shady, not denying that. Unethical, not denying that. Not supported, does things that are unpopular, not denying any of those things. But you know what he does? He delivers. He introduces. He's not afraid to lean into his base. He's not afraid to do what's unpopular. He is not above standing on what the white folks want and what the white folks demand. And you got to respect that. You ain't got to like it, but you got to respect that. You got to respect what he says he is going to do and is going to happen. So when you are mentioning what Trump does, Trump gives back to his voters. Trump said, free the guys. Trump said, I'm going to give you money. Trump said, I'm going to flood the streets. Trump said, I'm going to give my people jobs. Trump said, we're going to address that Latino speaking issue. We're going to make English an official language. Not saying you got to agree with that. What I am saying is that he is giving his base what they want. That's the flat line. Not saying perfect, not saying popular. What I am saying is that the introduction of the programs that his base wants, they get introduced to. What our politicians have to understand, this is the new normal. The FBA energy is, you must introduce, you must have skin in the game, you must express our interests, you must engage, you must listen, you must operate in our best interest first. We don't give a damn what you think. We don't care about your job promotion. We don't care about non-tangible benefits. We want what we want.
way that was so cynical, they did it through the legislature. And the Democrats tried to deny quorum as long as they could. They had to come back. And now Virginia, you know.
Well, they ain't have to, but go ahead.
Okay. He wanted them to stay away from home ever. But at the end of the day, this is what they expected. Everybody always talks about Democrats being soft. We don't know how to fight back. We fight and we soft and we letting them do what they want to do. Now,
I'm sorry to defend you, Ms. Sugar. Let me clarify. Ms. Shabu, I didn't mean to say that. I'm not saying that trying to offend you, you know, it's kind of offensive. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we have a strong generations that are strictly off code. It doesn't mean all. Remember, I'm not saying all, but I want y'all to think about this. This is on the national media. If you type on the news to the average person, not you, that watch this stuff, this is what they're hearing. At the beginning of the podcast, when a young brother, light cut off on an accident, when the young brother spoke about how he felt about, yo, hey, we got to get policies for us. It was shunned. My mother, church lady, y'all, she ain't tapped in. They worried about their religion, their spirituality, church picnics, which is a good thing. But what I'm saying is that the topics that we are talking about are radical in their circles. When she hears me say, I'm not voting unless I get something tangible, that's radical. So what I am saying is that it is starting to hit their lexicon on public platforms. We discuss it among us, which is good. But now the message is going out. And why is that scary? It is scary because it's becoming real. It's becoming uncomfortable. You have to be able to have that conversation. I'm 66 and I'm not a vendor. We older generations have to let the younger generations have it. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. And there's no offense. And remember, I want her to speak her mind. I'm not saying that what she said ain't valid. But what she has to understand too is that your job as an elder, as someone that's in leadership, is to listen to your people.
we fighting back. And
we're not fighting back with our words no more. We fighting back with our actions. The old guard, remember, symbolism worked for you Being the first black worked for you. Being invited worked for you. Being accepted worked for you. Having white friends work for you. If you are a younger person under the age of 40, we don't give a damn about that. I tell people all the time, that's kind of funny, man. Work, colleagues, all of that, right? I don't think I really have an integrated work life. I do. But I want you to ask yourself that. Do you have an integrated personal life like that? Or do you stay amongst your people? Do you eat at certain places? Do you dine at certain establishments? Do you have the ability to go to certain locations? Think about it, y'all. Outside of your work environment and workplace, what does your partner look like? I have black children. I have black friends. I got a black lady. I got black mama, sisters, cousins, everything. Most of my life I spend around us, and this is not a anti-rant. What I am saying is that we have made choices in our life that what was beneficial to the older generation does not work for us. I don't want to eat at their restaurant. I don't want to do those type of things. I am happy within my community, with my people, my music, my circle. So what I want is benefits for us. The integration mentality that I want to get along, I want to be inclusive, and all of that does not work anymore. Those are the conversations that are happening that are different. I'm going to switch gears for a moment. I know people have strong feelings about Kamala one way or another. The one thing I always like to say is this. She was selected. She was not supported from us. She was inserted in that position to be president. Her life she lived, the choices she's made, the people she chooses to associate with have determined how she is aligned. She married a white man. This is what it is. She doesn't have children. It is what it is. So all of those things, like we do for brothers, though you married this, go against you. You made choices. That's fine. You live in a different environment. That's fine. But I have this conversation with my West Coast brothers all the time. Shout out to California. California, New York, Miami. Y'all live a completely different lifestyle than the rest of America. You have more ethnicities around. You have the appearance that you are integrated. You have the appearance of having access to different women, having access to different cultures. But one thing that is very true is that the real America is not that way. And let's go and listen to Kamala and what her plans are.
Talking earlier about how people are so transactional.
It's kind of funny hearing that, knowing she's from California. When you ever go to LA, any major metropolitan city, y'all, is all transactional. Me living in the H, you know, the number one thing that made me so successful with our men's group is that I'm not transactional, that I actually talk to you, that I actually hug you, that I actually check on you, that I actually don't want nothing from you when I talk to you. Most of our metropolitan cities are 100% transactional. That is why the smaller towns, the suburbs are always more preferable, because people like to have communities and people they like and truly enjoy. That's actually a fact.
I think we need to be transactional voters. I think, yes, it is right when we are trying to get folks to register to vote and to go vote, and it is absolutely right that we remind everyone of our history, especially when they're trying to erase it.
Our history?
What? We remind people of the lives, the bloodshed on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the sacrifice of those young people at the lunch counter, the assassination of Dr. King. There are so many.
You notice every example they always give is from the civil rights era. It's nothing 22,000 and up. It's not Breonna Taylor, who had a faulty warrant that was kicked in and the police assassinated her. It's not Eric Gardner, who was selling Lucy's and was assaulted. It's not Jordan Neely, a mentally ill man who was assassinated on a train in New York City. It's never new examples. Y'all notice that? It's always examples to relate to the audience in front of them. It's never what we're dealing with right now. It's not the immigration crisis. It's not the job issues. It's not the marriage crisis that we have right now. It's not the economic disjoints that we have in our community. It's never that. It's always issues that affect the older generations, not the ones that are actively working and providing right now when they speak to Black people.
So many things that we must remember about history so that what compels us to vote includes not only our civic duty, but honoring the ancestors. Yes. And here's what I'm suggesting in addition. Get yours. Vote and say, I'm voting because I expect something out of this. You're not going to take for granted that I'm going to vote because I'm a good citizen and it's my civic duty to vote, so that you don't even worry about whether you're producing what I need because, oh, we can count on them to vote because they remember the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I'm saying it's okay to also give people permission to be transactional.
Oh, let me go ahead and read that. What it do, Mike? I was born and raised in South Central LA. We are still segregated. It's tuggers to hang with them folks. I'm about to move with Arkansas to be back with my dad. That's big fact. Brother, stop your mask yourself. Hey, Black. I have no idea what you're saying, Damone. I noticed you always duck the smoke. Remember, I've been asking you 3 or 4 times to come up here and chop it up with me. I don't know why you keep ducking.
Formally invite you right now.
Let me drop it again in the chat, Mike. Mike, as you hearing Kamala, she is a fraud. Let's keep it funky. Mike, as you hearing her explaining, as she always does, man, what are your thoughts right now, Mike, of her even thinking she could run again for its political election?
Man, it was shown the very first time what America thought about you. Don't embarrass yourself a second time. Don't. I think we might have been better off slightly in some ways or some fashions. We probably wouldn't be at war with Iran, but we might have been at war with somebody else. You never know. However, I just feel that she's shucking and jiving, and you shucking and jiving, and you 100% Jamaican and Indian, and have always claimed to be Indian and not Black until you ran for president.
The thing that bothers me the most about it, Mike, and I had this conversation with our sisters too. Why do not, and she doesn't represent us all, why does she get a pass for being with a white man? Mike, that's who you chose. The same energy that we have with brothers that they deserve. Why is it not the same? And she married one. How can you speak on Black families if you chose not to have children and you did not marry a Black man? Why does she get a pass for that when brothers who don't deserve it, Mike, I'm with them, why do they not get the difference?
Well, she should get a pass, period, because she is not Black. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, it shouldn't really matter if she married a white man at all, because she's not Black. So, we get on sisters that are going with different races, but she's not a sister, so it shouldn't even matter to us at all.
Shout out to Mike with that fire response. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit more of the video, Mike, so you can captivate and share the live.
And to say, if you're going to get my vote, this is what I expect. I'm going to vote because I expect to get something out of this. I'm going to get mine by voting. That's what I would offer. I think it's okay to give people permission to be transactional voters.
I agree with what that statement is, Mike. Hold on. That is a lie, Mike. She's always been Black. I'm going to let you cook on that one, fam. They trying your credibility right now, Mike.
Well, if you look at the genetic history of her origin, she is Indian. Her father's Indian. And I forget what her mother is, but they derive from Jamaica. And yes, we do claim Jamaica as a Black nation of origin. However, you must also realize there are Chinese Jamaicans. There are also Indian Jamaicans. If you also look at the history of Trinidad and Tobago, they have multiple races in the Caribbean, but not one time. And I want you to go back into the archives, look at the videos, look at her speeches, look at her historically. She has never claimed to be Black. The only time she has claimed to be Black is when she ran for president. I want you to understand that. That's a true statement. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but it's a true statement. If you look at her census records, if you look at her records, which I have, she does not categorize herself as Black at all. Do your research before you come at me, bro. Because I'm not speaking ignorance. I'm speaking straight facts and research bound.
Man,
Fact check
shout
me if
out.
you like. Come on
Shout,
alive.
come on. Shout out to my dog Mike coming in with a flamethrower in it, man. Shout out with it. Oh man, what it said needs to get her claim on her ancestry. She has nothing. She ain't black. She's not claimed. She claimed she was of Indian descent. Lord have mercy, man. She is not Black American. She is a pattern of a background. Indians are really white. They not fact, but you know we speak fact here. He's speaking facts. That's what she chose. To me, y'all, it's just is blatant like this. You have made your effort. You have made your results. She is not claiming to be Black American. She's claiming to have gender pathology background. Indians are white, really. Facts, they agree on Mike. He is speaking facts, Mike. They agree with you, dog. They 100% agree with you, fam.
I'm not saying Indian is white, but I'm not saying Indian is black. And we're not talking Native American. We're talking India from who claim whose origin India is in Asia. So they're by origin and geographical location Asian. I'm not claiming her to be white at all.
I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you 1,000% on that. And the reason why I wanted to bring this issue up, Mike, I don't mean to. This right here is going to be a sensitive topic, y'all. But I wanted to bring that up, and I'm glad Mike chimed in on this type of stuff because as we break down our topics, as we break down and have our conversation, number one, politics is something that we love to talk about. And I think it's a video that's very important that this brother shared today, Mike, that was real about AI data centers.
How people need to reclassify.
Going on against the child. Going on.
I was saying the other day how people need to reclassify how they view violence. The city councilman member in Indiana who approved the data center after everybody in the neighborhood said that they did not want a data center in their neighborhood. He ended up getting his house sprayed up and somebody left a note saying no data centers. I feel sorry that his son was there, but I don't feel sorry for what happened. He doesn't view putting a data center in somebody's neighborhood, polluting their air, making their water toxic, running up their electricity bill, shortening their life expectancy. He doesn't view any of that as violence. That is exactly what that is. That is violence. People really need to reclassify the way that they view violence. Most violence in America is enacted by people in suits. And the violence that you see on the local news of somebody waving something around in the air and bullets flying, that is a violent reaction to other people's actions. And then he proceeds to say that we can't normalize this type of violence. But what he did was normalized violence. I don't feel bad for him because he literally got a violent reaction from the violence that he was trying to inflict on an entire neighborhood.
Mike, that was a phenomenal conversation we having right there, man. Let me start it off by saying the great Fred Hampton said, politics is violence without bloodshed. Politics is violence without bloodshed. Mike has a behind the curtains point of view on the data center crisis, Mike. Go ahead and educate us what it's doing, Mike, how you feel about it, and how impactful you think it's going to be in the future to us, man.
I feel like we all need to do our research on the type of things that are becoming normal and everyday, like in our neighborhoods. The data centers are one, and for another, people don't even.
Your audio a little skippy, Mike. Your audio a little skippy. You hear me? Your audio a little choppy. All right, so Mike gonna come back in as we talk about the data center crisis, as we said, man. Remember, we had a great talking point about how data centers and how politics got to understand how the voting truly affects us, y'all. People got to understand what you vote for has consequences. The people you vote for, the people you support. Let me hear it down, Mike.
I'm back. Does that sound better? Okay.
Keep talking.
We have to do the research and understand the things that we're voting for and allowing in our neighborhoods. The data centers are one, but nobody has noticed that there are blue UV lights popping up into our neighborhoods, like these weird colored purple lights, right? What are they for? Why are they starting to be outside of office buildings? Why are these 5G towers starting to be in our neighborhoods? Why are you disguising them as trees, right? We have to really understand what our government is doing and what our government has subsided us to do, subsided us to have. Like, I don't want to sound like a crackpot, but the COVID-19 vaccine was something that could be put in your system that could alter DNA and that can alter different things in your body, right? So when you subside yourself to different frequencies, different lightings, different things in the water, different things in your neighborhood that you are not understanding what it is, we have to ask ourselves the number one question is why? Why are they putting this here? What is this going to do? How is this going to affect my society? Like, why are these things there, right? And you got to understand and look at the geographic of what type of neighborhood they're putting it in. Are they putting these things in white neighborhoods? No. Are they putting these things in affluent neighborhoods? No. They are putting these things into our neighborhood because we are being tested. We're being experimented on a daily basis, and no one understands what we have going
Hey,
on.
brother, okay, your audio is better, Mike. They saying your audio is better. Is the audio better now? I'm trying to hear it. Okay, they say it's a little better, Mike. It's a little bit of audio. They saying it was choppy. You see it? So we
I
good.
don't know what it was. I logged out, logged back in. I'm on the Wi-Fi. I got 5 bars. Everything's all good. So y'all let me know.
All right, so bet we got that. Thank you for the feedback. So now what I think the main thing Mike was putting out is that better. Okay, Mike, they say it's better now. So the main thing that was going on about these data centers that's really pivotal to me, man, is like you said, most people in these areas that are being affected by it, one don't even know what data centers work. We don't know how to fix them and tweak them. And they're coming in, Mike, and it's a change. It's going to affect water, supplies, housing, so many different things. But the thing that's scary to me, Mike, people not talking about, politicians everybody can get pulled up on, Mike. Politicians, the mayor, your cousin, my cousin, your family, everybody can be pulled up on. Everybody can be approached. We no longer live in a place where you cannot have things happen to you. There's one in Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out to Memphis. My sister stay there. What part of Memphis is it at? I didn't know that. Shout out to Memphis, Tennessee. But I'm saying it's crazy that people think, in politics right now, I don't think people understand that we're in the Trump era, Mike. The Trump era means you can get pulled up on. I'm hitting the block. Hey, bro, you doing what? You contaminate my water. What? Ain't nobody going for that. That decorum, that we gonna play nice card, that is out the window. So like I'm saying, seeing this type of thing, Mike, hearing this discourse, I think people don't understand, like, man, if you not representing my best interest as a political figure, I have every right to pull up on you and have a conversation.
100%. And we should have been doing this a long time ago, bro. The one thing that I think that I do agree with what Kamala Harris said is the vote should be transactional. We should be getting something, receiving something. It should be, and if we are not as a community, we have the right to remove you. And I think that's what we have been so far removed from, that we're not understanding that these people have made promises and they need to stand on business with everything that they deliver. And if not, we have the right as a community to get them out of there. We need to go back to that. Holding people accountable 100%, standing on business. You said you were going to lower the taxes. They haven't lowered. You have 6 months.
I think that's the new normal, Mike. Also, what's the new normal, y'all? If you haven't know, y'all know I always come to you as I hear the airways, Mike. And it's a little bit of street business, y'all. We're going to get a little raggedy right now, but the conversation needs to happen. There's a conversation happening in LA right now, Mike. Mike, we know the Gucci Man, Pooh Shiesty stuff going on. Do people outside of the culture have the ability to speak on our politics when they have internal politics they don't speak on? Black people, pay attention.
You a North thing, you a square, you out of pocket.
It can't be both.
No, you from up north, homie.
Yeah, I am.
And see, here go the thing with him. He think it's a game. And like me,
the whole discussion is, hey, black problems, black issues. Why do you think you can be in our conversation inserting disrespectful tone, disrespectful rhetoric, and not understand that we will pull up on you? Remember, y'all, the streets is waking up and they're having discourse that we need to have. How do you think you can comment on black issues, Mike, when the Cesar Chavez came out last week? I ain't seen no Spanish channels, Mike. Did you hear that, Mike?
No, man.
Did you see him on TikTok, Mike? Did you see him on Instagram with the podcast, Mike?
No.
Did we see him talking about it, Mike? Did we see the channels? Did we hear 6ix9ine talk about Cesar Chavez? I hear him talking about Pooh Shiesty.
But I'm gonna tell you this too, bro. We forever have let people into the business, and it has to be overcorrected. So now the pendulum has to swing back forward, and now more than ever we have to stand on business every time. But if we were standing on business from the beginning and not allowing these people to speak on it and deaden it when it happened, we would never be in this situation that everybody think they can jump in on black business.
I'm letting you know, Mike. Let's go ahead and listen some more, y'all. Pay attention, y'all. Share the live. Hit the like button. Hit it.
Munchie and Sporty, we understand what it is with each other. If you know, but you're gonna call the police, bro. So respectfully, listen. You work with the police too. No, respectfully, your mama's a bitch. Won't you come down here right now?
We both work.
But Mike, it was aggressive. It was confrontational. Was he wrong for having that same energy they have, Mike, when they call us NIGGA?
No, not at all. I think we should match energy. Is the era of turning the other cheek is over. The era of what would our beloved Christ do is over. Because what we fail to realize is Christ also ran with some gangsters and Peter would have cut you. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that we have turned the other cheek and we have been political and polite far too long. Now, do I think he should have called the man's mother a bitch? No, I don't.
You call me an NIGGA, Mike?
Facts. Then when that word is brought up, it's no
I'm standing on it, Mike. Why can't we stand on it, Mike? They stand on how they feel.
Facts.
I'm gonna let it keep playing. I'm gonna let it keep going, fam.
With the police sometimes.
Yeah, nah, I don't never work with the police. See, that's what I'm saying. And he think it's a game.
Ricky, you don't say you threatened me.
Ricky, what you mean, Ricky? I ain't never threatened Ricky. Ricky all right with me. You ain't Ricky. You ain't black.
Yeah, but
I'm not black.
I'm gonna let it keep going, but I think this is a point that we really gotta have a talk about. We got issues and other people that do not get talked about, but our brothers that struggle, we know what Pooh and Gucci going through, Mike. That's street business. We know it's not something that we glorify or uplift. But if you ain't black, Mike, do you think that you cannot get hands and feet put on you in 2026 and going forward?
In 2026 going forward, you most definitely will get hands and feet put on you. And
I think that's the energy. That's what too. And I think, Mike, the way he addressing it, the way he's talking about it, the way this conversation, I think it is a valid conversation. I do. I'm not saying you got to be gangster like Wack being gangster, but I do believe the open level of disrespect that was allowed to happen is not there no more. Do I agree with him saying about his mama? I get it, but you know what it was, Mike? I'm going to disrespect you further. And remember, Mike, West Coast was being presumed as everybody get along. But everybody really not getting along, Mike. Let it cook some more, fam.
Nigga, you ain't Ricky. You don't even, listen, where I come from, I don't play with Mexicans like that, bro.
it don't matter where you came from.
All right, I tell you what, listen, look, Adam, I'm telling you. Look, listen, you be telling me to stop tripping these people, but when they started, and then I started doing a bunch of shit, I'm the villain. I don't know this dude.
I think that's a fair criticism. You said when you went to the Blueface fight, you were like, yo, it would be dope if we could have the whole squad. We'd be moving mean.
Who said that?
You said that.
Who said that?
You said that. And then
I never said that. I ain't never said bring the whole crew. Nigga, Adam could bring whoever the fuck he want to bring.
I'm going to let it rock right there, Mike. But I think the whole conversation and discourse was about, Mike, when had it gotten to the point, Mike, that open disrespect for black people, our black problems can be talked about among the masses. But Cesar Chavez was out here laying the wood with everybody. Slaying the dragon, multiple baby mamas everywhere. And I ain't hear a peep. Mike, did you see a podcast about it?
Not at all.
In the chat, did you see a podcast going viral about Cesar Chavez like they do about our black people?
Nah, it was.
I know he been dead, Mike. I'm not justifying that. I'm saying, why is the energy different? That's what Wack was asking, Mike.
Right.
So I think we to that point now, and I love we to this point. If you are going to disrespect me, all black people, I hope y'all listening. No more disrespect. 6ix9ine got endorsed by New York City. That does not represent black people. You will not disrespect me. You will not have a disrespectful conversation, and it's being cool.
Right.
That era is done.
Been done.
Been done, Mike. Been done. Changing gears, Mike. I had to get that in for a moment, man. And this is gonna be an excellent conversation for my boy Mike on the pod, man. You know, Mike always is definitely one of the spiritual brothers. It is a deep conversation, Mike. I hope you got your strap in. You ready, dog? But let me go ahead and get it right. It's an artist between D1 and Big Bank, Mike. And the conversation went like this.
The book. So we believe the shit that white people somehow.
Bro, that's another big lie that they feed us, is that Christianity is the white man's
that's
religion.
Out now, you think that came from a black man?
Come on, man. I'm trying to tell you, brother, Jesus wasn't even white. So what you talking?
We got some. Hold up, man. Let me go ahead and read it. They going. That is my people of color, never anything, sir. Listen, bro, get on the line, man. He's right. We can't go back and forth, blame. We got to move forward. Black business been infiltrated. What you talking about, man? Peter was from the West Coast, from Jerusalem. Okay, she with you, man. One Mexican called us an NIG son. Hey, it never happened again. Big facts. That's where we at now. As the white people watch his facts. I'll talk about who, man. Look, this person right here about to get. I'll talk about Reverend Najah. What are you talking about, bro? Let me let it cook for you, Mike. Hold on, let me go back.
White person wrote the book, so we believe the shit that white people somehow.
Bro, that's another big lie that they feed us, is that Christianity is the white man's religion.
Now, you think that came from a black man?
Come on, man. I'm trying to tell you, brother, Jesus wasn't even white. So what you talking about?
All right, but so they don't read. He white on pictures.
On certain people pictures who trying to twist the narrative.
Man,
and he
stop
black,
it,
he
man.
black on other pictures.
You think they twist the picture, they ain't twist the story?
Bro.
Yes
in certain ways, people have.
So how we? So do we believe?
But what they didn't twist is the reality that
they didn't twist faith. Your faith should never get shaken, or your spirituality should never be shaken.
Mike, the conversation is happening in real time. Mike, as a spiritual brother, is the church as an entity outdated? Does it still work based on all the foolishness we see going on right now, Mike? That was the gist of a conversation. Big Bank saying, "Yo, I live in Atlanta. What are they doing for the streets? What are they doing for the community?"
How's my volume, everybody? Is the audio good, Terrell?
Yeah, audio good, dog. Go ahead, cook up.
Okay, cool. So the first thing I want to say that is we have a misconstrued thought process of what the church actually is. The church is within yourself. The church is not a building. The building is assembly. We have to remember that the building is assembly. But the church, spirituality is within yourself. The temple of God is within you. God is within you. The Holy Trinity is within you. You are a God, little g, right? I think that to answer your question, I think we have gotten so far from what it is that we really need to be doing as delivering the word of God. The word of God is true, right? And the book is truth. The Ethiopian Bible is older than the National Christianity Bible for sure, and it was traces of Christianity in Africa before we even knew what Christianity was, right? It was different though. There's books taken out of the Bible. The King James Version is just the most popular version that was translated, right? But there's other books and other versions that's translated. But I digress. The church, to me, the system, the organized religion, to me, is dead. It's a lot of hypocrisy. We're seeing false idols, false prophets. But if you read your word, we are in the time of revelation and that these things shall happen, right? You have to be true to the word. Stop listening to all these preachers asking for $20,000. Like, we're getting far away from it. Really and truly, what religion is believing in God and believing that He's saved and Jesus died for our sins, right? However, as a Christian, it's my job to go and tell the stories of what Christ has done for me so that I can help my other brother. We get so conflicted, so construed with other thoughts and ideas we are literally supposed to take the book as face value, right? We're putting our own spin on it, our own mess on it. And you know how like some people make gravy? Gravy got a lot of mess in it to become what it is. We need to stop making gravy with religion and have it be what it really is intended to be, which is pulling your brother or your sister up by their bootstraps and helping them believe in something higher than themselves and being a community. That's what it's really all about. Telling people what God has done for you, showing them what God has done for you, not driving up in Benzes in the church. Like, God asks for time, talent, and 10%, right? But a lot of people think it's money and monetary donations. But tithes is talent as well. We gotta get back to the root. We've gotten too far away, and we starting to listen to anybody and everybody read us the word and tell us what God said.
Shout out to my dog Mike with that beautiful summary. The main problem I have, Mike, and I'm a guy that loves spirituality, Mike. I'm a spiritual. I pray. The problem I have, y'all, for me as an outsider, Mike's background with spirituality is really deep. For me, I would say my father was NOI, Mike. My father was a Muslim. Was he practicing? Probably when he got out of prison, he implemented it. So I had the spirit to read. I've read the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible. I love the fellowship of Christianity, but when I look around and see all these damn churches and ain't nothing getting done, it turns me off. We see churches all over the places, Mike. In Third World, we was at, Mike, in Houston. It's like 50 churches. Ain't no bank. Ain't no community center. I think that's the problem, like you said, Mike. The investment for what they get is there, and they deserve it to some extent. But as far as going back out the other way, that is the problem the youth has with it. The second bigger problem I have, Mike, and we had this conversation, there is no gathering place, and this is just to me, all the beautiful single black ladies in Houston, there is no mate selection process to get them married. There is no singles ministry where they're bringing in fellas. There is nothing we're counting wedding dates. I personally believe that's one of the pastor's job is to get his people married. And I do not believe a lot of them do that, Mike. They get the benefits. They get the money, but we got too many ladies, Mike, in these streets who are unmarried. You are supposed to be having those men come through to get them that way. You know what I'm saying? It's always about look, appearance, go to church, pay. But as far as what you're doing for your people, that's the biggest gap. And I do believe, like you said, Mike, generationally, I believe it's done. And I believe it's admirable for guys like D1 to be saying that. But the problem I have with D1, Mike, you ready? He don't talk about white folks like that. How you feel about reparations, D1? Do you support it? That's my number one question for all people, Mike, that's heavy into that. Because that's going to let me know everything. Do you believe the white folks got to come off that money and pay the people that were descendants of slavery? I don't want to hear the political answer. I don't want to hear God got us. No, sir. Do you believe they have to cut the check? That's the first question I believe everybody got to ask, Mike. Go ahead, chop it up.
When you said the reparations too, we have to categorize the national indigenous people that were here first that got reclassified because it was two slaveries that happened. It was a chain slavery and a paper slavery. And we also need reparations for our brothers and sisters that got miscategorized in the paper slavery that was an injustice as well.
Absolutely. Mike, I'm all for cutting the goddamn check. However, at the end of the day, I want to know, are you for or against it, Mike? That's going to let me know everything.
It's a simple answer.
That's it, Mike.
Yes or no?
I don't want to hear God got me. I'm going to pray on it. No, sir. Because, Mike, it's going to make you ask an honest question. Because when you meet most brothers that go to church heavily, Mike, they avoid those political questions. You notice that, Mike? It's never on, hey, bro, I think reparations should be happening. Why ain't y'all speaking on that? Why ain't you speaking on the Carmelo Anthony trial that's happening next month? Why are you in Atlanta talking about that, D1? The Carmelo Anthony murder trial starting next month, Mike. You know that?
Yeah, we need to be heavy on that because I want
Mike,
to know.
Mike, what D1 talking about that? He ain't going live about that. You talking about rappers, though? Ain't that something you should be talking about?
But you got to realize, bro, that the average person that is claiming God heavy has an agenda, bro. Like as much as he may believe and much as he may want to turn things around, look at what his context was and look at what he was talking about. your context should be straight saving souls for Christ. Period. This is what God did for me. I know He can do it for you. Like, we gotta. Everybody has a brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what they were talking about. The brand. Like, but the brand is Christ. The brand is doing what we said we was gonna do.
Shout out to my dog Mike with that beautiful synopsis. Shout out to y'all, man, for the people. Fifth Ward too. Yeah, straight up a Fifth Ward. Church is a business. It is. Churches and liquor stores. Big fat E, man. Just subscribe. Thank you for tapping in, Brother J Money. We appreciate you. Oh my God, that's what my granddaughter said. I'm serious. I'm for real. 3 hoes care for white folk. The answer is absolutely yes for reparations. But remember, they won't address that. It is always, will God this? Because remember, if you say a political issues, white folks gonna feel uncomfortable. I always tell Mike, that's my number one question I ask all of them. Cut the damn check. All that other stuff, I don't care. I wonder how they get enough money to pay through their pain and suffering. We ain't worried about that right now, Mike. Mike, somebody dropped a flyer, Mike, and it made me feel old. You know, my dog Mike is definitely the music head of Coachella, Mike, when our first year of college. And look at the headliner, Mike. And,
You gotta read it to me, bro. It's kind of small.
all right, Coachella, Mike, Indie Conference 2013, Mike. They had Black Keys, they had Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, Mike. The reason why I wanted this conversation to happen, y'all, when people talk about hip hop is dead, is the culture vulture of hip hop dead? Because the music is still good. I think Main Street Drake version of music exploitation is gone. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the streets, the grassroots, the hip hop that we love, Mike, I feel like it's still there. So when you have podcasts pushing that issue, Mike, because Drake lost, let's keep it funky, Mike. They're pushing it because Drake lost to Kendrick. How do you feel about that, Dom?
I feel that we gotta stop pushing the weakness, right? Eventually, we gotta just stop accepting it, and understanding that shit is whack. That shit is whack. It's not culture, but we have to continue to push what hip hop was and what the music industry is trying to take away from us. We have to get back to the grassroots of understanding the originality of the music. We cannot let it die, and we cannot let other people thrive and steal and pillage, right? That's what Kendrick was trying to convey. So let's put it back and take a step back and really have it be artistry, really have it be poetry in musical form, and get back to what it used to be without the. It's always going to be a culture vulture, right? But it's up to us if we're going to give them the dollars and the spins.
I think what hip hop is now for all my black folk is all of the Drake style artists can no longer culture vote off of it. That's why Jake Harlow flopped. His album came and went, Mike. People don't know that. All those artists that are opposing the 6ix9ine, the certain Mexican artists, if you are not on code with our issues, our talking points, you cannot thrive in our sectors.
You cannot.
That's the issue.
And I mean, everybody should have a space, but at the same time, the space should be limited.
But remember, Mike, they in our spaces, Mike. They're not in their spaces. Like
No,
Wax on the West Coast.
If you ain't talking right, cancel. That's what we doing when people talk about Jews. So if you ain't talking right for blacks, why we ain't canceling?
And this is another phenomenal conversation, Mike, separate from what we were talking about. People are really surprised by the police being the police, Mike. Let's pay attention.
What I was trying to figure out too, y'all, and it just hit me. It hit me. I was trying to figure out why everybody was sitting up here freaking out about ICE in the first place, right? And somebody here just came in my comments and they were like, yeah, plenty of Americans work for ICE, because we was talking about how people keep attacking the black ICE agents when they're not even a majority of people working for ICE, right? All races are working for ICE. But anywho, the person said the problem with ICE is the abuse of power and the mistreatment of human beings. Okay. And I said, oh, it's starting to make sense. It's starting to make sense now of why these people was freaking out about ICE. Y'all didn't know how law enforcement really worked. Y'all didn't know how law enforcement really worked. And y'all thought that black people was bullshitting when we told y'all how it worked for decades. Okay, so look. So boom, right? Y'all are flipping out because ICE is just walking around detaining people. And the people in y'all eyes are innocent and they're being detained anyway. Well, in law enforcement, it's not about if you are innocent or guilty. They are able to detain you, and then you later go to court and you prove, you have a hearing, you go to court, you prove if you are innocent or guilty, right? But it doesn't really matter if you are innocent or not. They still have the ability to detain you. That's what an arrest is. See, y'all thought that just because a person is arrested, they are guilty, right? When it pertains to black people. Y'all thought that just because the police pull up and they arrest somebody, or they put somebody in the back of that car, or they put them in a jail, that they have committed a crime. That's what it was. That's what it was. You know, just because we were black, we obviously were doing something wrong, because they would not have done that if they wouldn't have put us in there if we were innocent. Because y'all didn't know how y'all didn't know how the law enforcement worked. Y'all didn't know how the legal system worked. That's what it was. Yeah, there are people who spend literally 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a county jail until they go to trial, or until the DA decides to just randomly dismiss the charges. And then they are just randomly released at 2, 3 o'clock in the fucking morning after being in a jail, in a county jail for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all did not know that. I got plenty of friends that happened to, where they just detain you until you go to a hearing, or the DA drops the charges, or you take a plea agreement. Because you know, like 80%, 90% of freaking convictions in this country are resolved by plea. Most people don't even go to a trial. Okay, they hold you there until you're ready to sign a piece of paper and say you did some shit. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all did not know that. Y'all didn't know that at all. It's making sense. So while y'all think that what ICE is out here doing is just so ridiculous and insane, this is why black people is like, what are y'all talking about? What y'all freaking out about? This is how it's always worked. But y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know that. It's all making sense now.
Let me start it off, Mike. They did know.
Facts. They did. They just didn't care.
They didn't care. Let's stop acting like this has been a surprise. NWA wrote a song, Mike, in 1989 called F the Police. What was he talking about in the song?
Right.
Listen to the lyrics. Read the song. Rodney King. We see it over and over again. The police has been moving this way. But remember, y'all, like the great artist Finesse 2 times said, it's okay when you do it. It's a problem when I do it. It was cool when they was hitting you niggas across the head, Mike. But now they hitting us. Oh, no. You can't hit me across the head like you hit Mike and Terrell. Oh, no. I know I'm not going for that, man. You hit me across my head now. Now I am inconvenienced. I learned something about people, man. They are okay as long as you do not inconvenience me. If you don't inconvenience me, if you don't remind me of what I do is a problem, as long as it doesn't hurt me, I'm okay with it. The moment that you inconvenience me, the moment that you hurt me, the moment that you cause a problem to my discomfort, the moment that you think that you can get over and affect me and my children is the moments the problems are residing. I don't give a damn about what you're going through, most people think. I don't care if you're supported. I don't care if you're hurt. I don't care if your people don't support you. We don't care. That is the reality of it. So when people keep speaking about this ICE thing, they ask me for my opinion. The same opinion they had about Breonna Taylor. The same opinion they had about Freddie Gray. The same opinion they had about Jordan Neely. The same opinion. You should comply. I have no opinion. We're worried about us right now. That is the only thing that is new now. The thing that is new now is that most Black Americans are saying, nah, man, we need to check. No, we want our political resources to be realigned. We want our political things to be changed. We are not going to be the crash out dummies no more. Hold your nuts, hold your weapons, hold your riots, hold your activism. Stop looking for us to speak up on it. That is the difference, man. Yo, why y'all ain't speaking about these problems? Why y'all ain't speaking about ICE crashing out? Let them crash. Let ICE hit everybody across the goddamn head, Mike. I'm cool with it.
Facts.
If that's what you wanted, that's what you voted for. That's what you believed in. Hold your weight. Unify your people. I don't know, Mike, if you seen that bullshit No Kings protest. You been seeing that, Mike?
I don't even know what it is, bro.
Mike, they on the weekend protesting from 9 to 12. Ain't shit getting done 9 to 12 on the weekend, Mike. Y'all don't want to be inconvenienced. When you hear that video, Michael, what she's saying, man, you take off on it, bro.
Man, I 100% think she right. Like, this shit been happening. We been seeing it. And what you say, Terrell, oh no, you have to do something. You should put your hands behind your back. The police wouldn't be doing it if they didn't have a reason to do it. Yeah, check this out. Now they doing it to another race. Now it's, oh my God. And I want everybody to realize this shit been happening for hundreds of years. It's only publicized because we got more cameras. It's only publicized because everybody's on the internet now. This was happening. What about all the people that got beat, did wrong, that we don't even know about, killed, murdered? The police got away with it, right? But it's a problem now. It's a problem now because it's happening to somebody other than black. It's been happening for 400 years to blacks, and we turn a blind eye. So okay, let's turn a blind eye to what ICE is doing. Shit.
I feel the same way, Mike, and I tell you all the time. I still ain't seen the dogs out, Mike. The water hose.
Where the water hose?
Where the dogs at, Mike? Have y'all ever looked at them civil rights pictures, Mike?
Why you letting them eat at the restaurant? Tell them go through the back door. Tell them they had to get their place to go. Tell them to drink out a certain water fountain. Tell them to drink. Tell them to sit in the back of the bus. If we gonna get there, let's get there. Like, we've been saying this for years, but people expect a system that is not meant for only but white people to be something other than what it is. And I don't understand that.
Hip hop is the ultimate culture coordination. Caribbeans, listen. Stop.
Hey, let me give you a lesson though. The lessons and the things that you were seeing, Clive Davis, like NWA, fuck the police and all the gangster rap and all the drug dealer rap and all the drug doing rap was founded and set up by somebody sitting in the office telling somebody else, hey, I think this would be a great idea. You know, we building them private prisons down the street. We need somebody to be in the private prisons. How can we get somebody to be in the private prisons? Let's affect the music. Y'all don't think that's real? Just like they put crack in our streets, they putting shit in our music to make us act this way. The frequencies are different.
I agree with everything you said. And I also think this, Mike. They were young kids talking about where they was from. We keep forgetting, y'all. They was in the heart of LA during the Rodney King era, Mike.
All right.
You know what them boys saw, Mike? Mike, we keep forgetting that Ice Cube and them were under the age of 21, Mike. They didn't know what the hell it, Mike. Under the age of 21, Mike. Becoming rap superstars. Did they really know what they was talking about, dog? No. But you know who do know what they talking about, Mike. Mike, I hope you got your strap on. I hope you tucked in, dog, because I know you're going to be elevated. Mike Ghana back at the table again, asking how can they get a piece of that check?
Damn.
Those who benefit. That's an European conception of harm. It's individualistic. So even though slavery was, slaves were exploited for the benefit of the state, even in America today, to be able to establish, that you to benefit from any arrangement that compensates you as a descendant of a slave, they must trace the root because it's individualistic. We Africans,
it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like
you
that.
Touch one, you touch all.
Oh. That's how
we they get the check.
So it should be continent wide.
Wide.
Or nationwide.
No, it's continent.
Continent wide.
That's why.
But he says.
That's why for the first time, 56 African nations
were
united in their belief that this is the way.
But Manasseh says, target the Caribbean, target the Black Americans. They are the ones who stuff it directly. They can trace it to their great grandfather who was put in a ship and moved from Elmina all the way to only God knows where. but not you, Inusa Fuseni, who is in Ghana, who was not affected in any way from Tamale.
Those of our ancestors who could confer benefits on us, who were traded, who were moved to the United States, constituted a loss to us. Constituted a loss to us, whether within families or within nation states.
Mike, I'm gonna let you get first dibs on that, family. I see you foaming at the mouth.
Bro,
He said they lost first.
Bro, I just want to say you gotta be such a sick individual to piggyback on the hurt and the trauma of somebody that's trying to get a justice of something that happened to them a long time ago. You have to be fucked up in the mind, a fucked up individual to be like, hey, I know y'all are fighting for this and we agree that it was atrocious. However, we need y'all to cut a check for us too, because it started here first. Like, what the fuck, bro? If you ain't no bandwagon ass nigga, bro, like that shit is sickening. It's sickening for you to even have logic and reason behind why somebody in Ghana should get a check cut for the atrocities of slavery. But if we gonna be real, right? If they want to check, only really 1 million people came from over there. If they really want to check, the check really, if you want to be in the check conversation, the conversation stops very short because really and truly only a certain amount of people was taken from that land anyway. I keep saying we were reclassified. You know what I'm saying? So really and truly.
Well, my number one thing too, Mike. Why ain't they talking about Brazilians, Caribbeans? Why is it only with us? Y'all ain't talking about cutting the check for Brazil. That's what most of the Africans win.
Right. And they talking about it's individualistic. Yes, dummy, because it happened to us. Like what? Like I just don't understand. Like that's predatory behavior, and we need to watch out for those people that share that same mindset. Because it's absolutely positively crazy that you would think that you could like get any type of anything.
Hey, Mike, that's Ghana's former president. That's their Barack Obama talking. This ain't no Joe Blow, Mike. Again, what does Obama think about reparations? We got presidents in Ghana talking about it. Talking about, yeah, bro, hey, they doing the Birdman hand rub, Mike. They doing the Birdman hand rub over there. Yeah, I'm going to leave my little 10% off the top. You're going to have to cut that check. But my thing for me, Mike, is this. And shout out to my dog, Mike, with that beautiful song. For me, y'all, the worst part is to have a family member that disrespects you, a cousin, and you know you disrespected me. You know it's a problem, but you won't address it, but you expect me to, you expect for me to do something for you. We got a problem, an issue that we need to handle. And instead of us handling it like men, Mike, well, cuz you know we family. I know I stole from you, cuz, but you know we family. I know I sold dope to your mama, but I know we family. I know I did something inappropriate to your kids, but we family, Mike. We family at the end of the day. It ain't, I'm sorry. It ain't, let me get it right. It ain't, I'm going to try to do what I'm supposed to do, cuz, to make it right by you. It's, no, forget all that. I need to get paid. No, it all happened.
They didn't offer a citizenship or nothing.
Well, Mike, they don't want, remember, Mike, I tell people all the time, Mike, mixed feelings means no.
Right.
No message is a message. They are not giving those type of things, Mike, because they don't want to. You don't want to support us because that's how you truly feel. You don't want to engage. You don't want to show love, but you want to benefit. You want to get that money. You don't want to apologize to your cousin and say, I was wrong how I did your mama and them. I was wrong how I treated your mama and them. Y'all all got free flights to come over here and find out who y'all people were. Facts. You ain't doing that. What you saying is, hey, yeah, Mike, we got Juneteenth, though. It's $3,900. I know you got it. Come support your boy. Yeah, we got Omina castles. Ain't it the castle that y'all had the last people that were enslaved and y'all letting us walk through it? A trauma bonding experience? Yeah, you can come see it for $1,200. That's how exploitive, Mike, their culture is. We got to understand, y'all. In this country, like I tell people, Mike, when we talk about Jim Crow the things that happened to us, we have to understand what that created was an ethnogenesis culturally. Our culture and how we do things is very different from a lot of people outside of America, Mike. We ain't got no culture trying to get over on you, Mike. We ain't got no culture of scamming. We ain't got no culture of stealing. We ain't got no culture of trying to finesse you. I would never try to finesse Mike. Mike ain't never trying to finesse me because that ain't culturally how we're built. But a lot of people, Mike, they could be your cousin and scam you. They could be your brother and hurt your daughter and don't say nothing, Mike. I could tap your girl on the butt in certain cultures, Mike, and that's just charging to the game. It ain't, bro, Mike, my bad. I ain't mean to do that. It ain't a part of that. So what you're hearing, y'all, I want all black people, black Americans in this country to understand that's how they truly feel. Why you and Mike keep harping on this message? Because there is no there is no love like that. You got a president. Obama ain't saying shit. But you got a former Ghana president on live, Mike, rubbing their hands like Birdman. Yeah, I'm going to need my check. I know we did y'all wrong, cuz, but we ain't individualistic. We going to bust it down. Whatever money you get, let me hold it for you. Then I'm going to give you something off the top. Hey, I went to the UN. I went to holler at them white folks. I went to them white folks and said, what y'all did was wrong, but I ain't say what we did was wrong. I went to them white folks to try to break bread, but I ain't trying to break bread with y'all. So then you don't wonder why the pushback is so strong. Because it's disrespectful. It's disingenuous. And you do not want to help nobody. Mike, our last two topics for the night, y'all. Mike, this is a terrible topic, Mike. It is. And I hope you're sitting down for it, dog. How we always critique interracial relationships amongst the brothers, Mike. I don't know if you know the story about Ashley Janae, Mike. She was engaged to a white brother, and the white brother and her were engaged in Tanzania, and on her birthday and engagement, Mike, she ended up dead. The story is not funny, but what people are saying, Mike, they're pulling through her tweets. They saw the anti-black man rhetoric. Black man ain't shh. Only white man could do this for me. Y'all ain't no good. I hate a black man. Don't none of y'all work. We know the talking points, Mike. Mike, is it fair? Is it out of bounds to have that energy with people who make accusations and deal with white folks, Mike? Let's keep it funky. We know white people crazy, but you engage, Mike, and I will say, for you to lose your life on your birthday in a foreign country and he fly back, Mike, and didn't say nothing, didn't tell your folks and said you hung yourself, but flew back home. But I'm asking, Mike, is the energy or will your remarks supersede you during death? I'll let you have that one, dog.
Oh, that's a very good question. I think your remarks will supersede you in death because the power of the tongue is real. And what we fail to realize that some of the things we say we cannot take back. And look at the Gucci man. Look at Gucci man tweets talking about snitching. And I don't know how people feel about that, but for her to say white man and put white man on the pedestal, it's a little bit sickening because your demise. People got to realize the way you speak, your demise may come from your mouth. And her demise 100% came from her tongue because she put the white man on the pedestal, killed the brother, stomped the brother down, and the white man was her demise due to the fact that he murdered her, or allegedly, right? However, I say that, and I hate to say it like this, but as our brother Malcolm would say, the chickens have came home to roost. In that situation, 100%, it shows what type of person you really are to have somebody pass away on you in another country and you come back solely by yourself.
For me, Mike, and shout out to Mike, that I agree, Mike, to even do that and don't even tell your family, Mike, and to not tell your family to engage in them resources, to engage in them tactics, y'all, and for her to not even get the decency to find out. What we have to understand, I want all people that date interracially. Men problems are not going anywhere. If you date interracially, you must be aware of interracial politics. You must be aware of interracial domestic violence. You must be aware that the problems that you will see and face can affect you, and the laws will treat you different. This goes for black men and black women. And it's a tragedy to see this, Mike. But people are stating you rest in your preferences. So do you deserve, Mike, that fervor that we would have, Mike, for sisters who go through struggle? Or do you get what you get? It's harsh. I know. It's uncomfortable. I agree. But I also think, Mike, like you said, hey, you aligned yourself with a certain community. You said that brothers wouldn't, we ain't good enough, Mike. We don't want to work, Mike. We don't do nothing but produce baby mamas and baby daddies. All what you said. I want to know, Mike, do you got to live on your words?
You got to stand on that in life and in death, my nigga.
Sheesh. Mike with it. Mike said you got to stand on life and death. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. I do too, Mike. I think the last two great topics we got to the night, man, Mike, you know, political year is up in the next 2 years. Y'all know we're going to keep y'all abreast of everything. Mike, I want you to look at this list, y'all. The Democratic National Convention, Mike, for 2026, and these are the people that are supposed to go against the Republicans, Mike. Kamala Harris, Governor Westmore, Joshua Shapiro, J.B. Pritzker, Ro Khan, and Pete Buttigieg. Mike, as you see this list for the Democratic Party, and we talk about what things black people need as you see it, what's your thoughts early on in this process now?
I don't see anybody that's going to fight for me on there. I may be wrong, but I feel that as Democrats or people that we align with, we need to check the system that we have put in place. We need to check the people that we have voting for us and put them, as Kamala Harris would say, on a transactional standpoint. We need to go to these debates and ask these questions in these people's hometowns and understand who they really were in their careers, in their private life, and growing up. And then we need to understand if they represent the black plight. And if they do not represent the black plight, get them out of here.
Love what my dog Mike said. For me, Mike, the presidential list, the first question and the only primary question I'm asking.
Reparations. Yes.
There you go, Mike. That's Mike. That's the first question on the list. I don't want to hear about anything else in the state of the economy. We are past the college fund. We are past the lift all programs. This the way that you give tangibles out to everyone else. We want the same thing. We want the same understanding. I hear Governor Westmore, Mike. He reminds me of Barack Obama. And I remind people, Mike, we are in the Trump era. Obama will not work. Being along, going along, get along, Mike, not offending nobody. It ain't going to work no more, dog. Obama was the last ever president to say nothing, to do nothing, and get a pass. You're going to have to be controversial. You're going to have to step on toes. You're going to have to say something specifically that we want. If you don't say shh, you won't get shh back in return. That's just the way it's going to go, Mike. So I'm reading this lineup. Go ahead.
It has to be, bro. We just have to have somebody that has some fervor. We're in a different time where somebody different won the race, and for lack of a better judgment, the presidency will never be the same again. It will never be dignified. It will never be as it was. So we need to fight fire with fire. We need to have somebody that's young, tenacious, and crazy.
The Mike, they over there saying, "No, Mike's Mike good." I hear him, y'all. They said the political decision. You said Jamal is Shapiro. Why do you say that, Jamal? I want to hear you, dog. Break it down for me. Why do you think Shapiro is the best? I would love to hear it. But as I keep going, like I said, I don't see nothing wrong with what people are saying. But I do think right now, moving forward, no politicians will ever represent the black plight. The only way black people win is to actually focus on what policies improve in your city or state. That's a offending fact. I agree with you there. That's a offending fact. I just think that as far as, and I'm going to get what Jamal is saying to piggyback off him, the politician that wants to be politically, that doesn't want to have fervor, great word by Mike, that doesn't want to speak on real issues, real topics, If you play it nice, you will lose. The new political normal, the new political strategy to have honest, direct, tough, and engaging conversation is not going to go anywhere. If you try to be like a Westmore, I'm presidential, I'm this, I'm clean cut, I'm not saying about real things, I'm being quiet, it ain't going to work. I would vote for Cory. Cory who? You know what I mean? I don't know who Cory is. Cory Booker? What does he talk about? What does he do? What does he believe in? Like
Cory
I said,
Booker just a bald head Obama, cuz.
And I think the Obama era is done, y'all. I don't think people understand. I say this all the time, Mike. But Barack Obama is the reason why we have Donald Trump. Barack Obama is the reason why. He's the reason why he's emboldened. He's the reason why we have this type of noisy atmosphere that we have, because he didn't stand on business enough. People do not want to hear political correct conversations. You don't believe me? Look at the news. Look at the youth. Look at the people you see on anywhere. They do not want to hear carbon copy conversations. Honesty, authenticity, transparency is how you will get people to swing. Cookie cutter, be political, shirt tucked in. Hi, how you doing? Does not work anymore. I'm telling you, it does not work with the babies. It doesn't. And in our last subject for the night, Mike, you know, we try to end it on a little bit of a hood note. And I believe this is a great conversation. Mike referenced it, Mike. And this is a conversation, y'all. This is mostly for our black men, man. Can you age out of being a street ninja? Let me listen, Mike.
What do you do if you're Gucci?
I'm taking the loss and I'm letting Pooh Shiesty walk.
You want to take a street loss? You want him to take a record label business loss, and you want him to take an insurance money on jewelry loss.
Yep, and be happy that you didn't lose your life.
You gotta know that comes with it. And I think your man Gucci Gamble was signing nothing but hood. Shiesty lives everything that he raps about. He wanted out of the contract or out of the deal. They couldn't come to terms, so he's like, I'm leaving here with something.
It said in the paperwork that Gucci identified Pooh Shiesty and Big 30.
I understand the street rules. These papers were signed under duress. What would be your reasoning to the rest of the label, to the accountants, to the lawyers? Why would you let him go? He's the hottest thing ever. Why just let him go?
He's really out of the lose-lose.
What do you do if you're Gucci?
I'm taking the loss and I'm letting Pooh Shiesty walk, because karma, you reap what you sow. You went your whole life doing stuff like that. So when it comes to get you, that's just what you got to roll with, bro. You're Gucci, man. The only reason why Pooh Shiesty allegedly handled the situation the way he handled it was because he thought he was handling it with his street. Pooh Shiesty only signed to Gucci because of Big Scar, Pooh Shiesty's cousin. Right. He was signed to Gucci first. When Pooh Shiesty gets locked up, Big Scar dies. He wanted like Big Scar's chains back and wanted everything back. He didn't handle my cousin right when I was in jail. His mom alleges that Gucci took over $20 million from her. Not only are you doing bad business, you not doing right by my cousin.
The way he handled it at the verses with Jeezy, and Jeezy was such an upstanding guy and being like, he wasn't trying to fight fire with fire. Everybody like, oh, Gucci back. Only for some gangster to finally occur and somebody to meet him with that same type of energy and he get the police involved. People just are not fond of that type of behavior. You love signing these hood that shoot like it's nothing. Why would you even present them with something that now they got entertainment lawyers that be like, oh, well, back when you thought he was doing homeboy business, he really was you the whole entire thing. Like, oh, I thought this was my man. Now the street rules and principles kick into his head. You gotta know that comes with it.
Let's just say it's somewhere in the ballpark of $2 million. The only way to get that back is to file a report.
Are you a civilian or are you a street?
Insurance policy.
I'm going to kick it off, Mike, before Mike give his music angle. For me, he's 50 years old. Context matters. There are no 50-year-old certified steppers. You can be in the street. You can still be around it, but you do not have as much fervor to go at these youngins. Gucci Man is a father. He's married. Not saying he ain't did no shady things. Not saying that he deserves the I get a pass treatment. But to act like he did not go into that meeting with good intention to meet with a artist who is disgruntled, who came with a businessman, who came with pure intention, who was ambushed, that's different, y'all. It is. We cannot put those same politics on people that grow up. You can't. Love the street, embrace the streets, but this right here is bad business. You cannot strong arm someone because you are disgruntled. What happened with your cousin has no correlation with what happened with you. I'm not saying that you're not right for how you feel. What I am saying is that you cannot put those real laws, real policies on people who are trying to conduct themselves a certain way. And to say ratting, you cannot rat in the street if you're a father, man.
Bro.
You got kids.
Bro.
Chop it up, Mike.
First of all, you put a gun to my head, robbed me, and kidnapped me in my own studio, and I ain't supposed to tell what happened, nigga. Anybody that thinks that they in a situation like that, my nigga, fuck the streets, nigga. You put a gun to my head, threatened to kill me, made me sign $1 million contract to release you. Nigga, I'm getting it back in legal blood and regular blood. Nigga, fuck you mean, nigga. You know, and how and maybe I'm not a street nigga, bro, but how the fuck is that rat, nigga? You put a gun to my head. There's no fairness in love and war, nigga. There's no fairness. So what you mean to tell me is people expect this man to just chalk that bitch up to a loss?
What you got to understand, Mike, that young guy, and the one thing about young men is that they don't understand that life is going to continue to grow on you. I was that way, Mike. Strapper, step on shit, certified. I understood it. But at the same time, y'all, when you have your child, when as you age, when you got people leaning on you, this man is 50, y'all. Half a century.
He's
Do
a
you
granddad.
believe? Come on, Mike. Do y'all really believe that he is a street ninja?
Real, truthfully speaking, me and you homies, Pooh Shiesty and Gucci homie. Real, you mean to tell me I kidnap you, put a gun to your head, and do all type of things, and you ain't gonna tell who? Yeah, you know it was me, nigga. Nigga, at that point, you're a menace to society. You feel me? At that point, you're a menace to society. You deserve to be
Hold
off the
up,
street.
Jamal. Gucci is a low-key loser, runs a label. Every artist is dead or locked up. Stop it. You cannot control what other people do, Jamal. You better stop that.
Jamal not lying. But bro, I don't know if I'm gonna lose my street cred or not, but my nigga, you can't put a gun to my head. I'm doing it all type of ways. I'm cooperating and I'm killing your family, nigga. We doing it all. I'm killing your family, I'm cooperating, and I'm suing you. All of it.
Jamal here going ham. You cannot dominate. Pooh Shiesty can't negotiate with Upper Burner on me negotiated. Y'all saying the facts. Can we say this, y'all? Gucci is not a certified label owner. He is trying to figure out. Can we keep it funky too, y'all? He's figuring it out on the job. He's had some success. He sees talent. Let's not forget, Jamal. He found Migos. He had Dolph. He had Nicki. He had Flocka. He had OG. OJ the Juice Man. Gucci eyes very much talent, y'all. Don't not forget these things.
Yes, but
he sees talent.
But all those opportunities he gave them to somebody else for their success instead of his own.
If Jay-Z is successful, Gucci a loser. Man, go ahead, man. I can't. How can y'all call that man a loser, man? After he is tried and true. I didn't say he was the best. I didn't say that he did not have his flaws. But to say he deserved that, y'all, that's harsh, man. That's harsh, man.
I mean,
that's harsh.
Did
and let's
kick
get
that, he did kick that lady out the Hummer while it was moving.
So what he did as a young man still. So you agree with the young guy, Mike? You and Jamal say it's karma. Is that what y'all saying? Is Gucci getting his karma, Mike?
Could be.
Come on, Mike. So he got his karma.
But you can't play. You can't play dirty contract games with people either, though, bro.
You gotta know your audience. Was justified.
I ain't saying all that. kidnapping somebody and robbing them is crazy. It's not logical at all.
No pushback. Ain't no pushback for me. I think that the times we in, was he mentally prepared to have an artist as successful as Pooh Shiesty? No.
I don't
Him
think
and
he
Pooh
was. I
Shiesty.
think he thought it was gonna fizzle out like everybody else. I think the biggest artists he's have had right now, if you look at diversified success, is Waka Flocka.
Waka has had tenure. Waka has. And Waka. I mean,
But
Gucci.
outside of music,
Y'all know. Go ahead.
outside of music success, Waka has great success. He has a cannabis business. He has different diversified brands. You know what I'm saying?
Would there ever be a Bleak? We need to be honest with these niggas. Would Bleak? Would ever be Bleak? Would Bleak ever rob Jay-Z?
Nah.
Nah. I'm not saying he 50-year-old cornball for being in the streets. I'm not saying Gucci does not deserve his criticism, y'all. I'm saying to actually have somebody go to a business meeting with you, up the strap on you, take your wedding ring, your money, your contract, and all that money from you. How is it that they're above criticism? So we're saying that Gucci Man does not deserve that benefit of the doubt? We haven't said he was ambushed. Can we say that, y'all? He was ambushed, Jamal. He was ambushed. Think about your employee feeling like that and all you could do. They can all do you like that. They can't. I'm just saying there has been a lot of crazy things that has happened to Gucci over and over again. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is a 50-year-old father was robbed, ambushed, hit with a strap, all this shit going on in the world. We talking about what? No, we're using this as a closing argument, brother. We having fun with it. You got to catch on for the rest, Jared. We have context about everything, brother. We do. But let's keep going. I do believe, man, there is a point in life where you can actually age and grow up. You know what I'm saying? And I do not believe once I thought like a child, I was raised like a child, but as I came to a man, I thought differently. You feel what I'm saying? And I do believe the situation is sad. Ain't nobody won, Mike. Ain't nobody won, Jamal. And I think the sad part about it is that boy about to do some serious time. He might do the rest of his life in prison, Mike.
Facts.
So who, Mike?
That's an example of having the wrong niggas around you, bro.
That's real. That's real. That's real, man. Man, Mike, as we close it out with another edition of Live on Sunday, man, thank my dog, Mike. Mike, tell people where they can find you at, what you got cooking up this week, dog.
Man, where McCall at? Come find me. Mikey McCall. Hey man, I just been in the tuck. I haven't really been feeling good this week, so this was pretty good. It's refreshing. I love y'all. Always remember there's no struggle without no growth. There's no growth without no struggle. And there's no test without a testimony. There's no testimony without a test. Love y'all, man. Be easy. Say something and do something good for somebody this week, y'all. Peace.
Shout out to my dog, Mike. Peace. Shout out to my dog, Mike, closing it out for another edition of Live on Sunday, man. Thank y'all for tapping in with me. If you did not know, we had a beautiful, wonderful event that went by this past Saturday, man. Shout out to my dogs, man, that got to show up and tap in. We did have a benefit of Jamal talking crazy. No benefit of doubt at all. No fairness in war. Niggas know who to try, who not to try. You better stop, Jamal. You going hard at Gucci, man. I know you're a West Coast ninja, Jamal. Don't play. I know you are West Coast. So don't be hating on the South. You know I'm a down South ninja, Jamal. Don't play, bro. Come on now. I know y'all West Coast, how y'all do. But on a serious note, we had a good meeting. It went by very smooth, man. Great meeting. We had a lot of stuff going on. Next thing coming up for your boy, man, we will be having a give back at Sunnyside. Sunnyside, we will be having a give back. That will be May 3rd. May 3rd, save your calendar. I'm going to make sure to give you more details and more up-to-dates about good information that we got going on. Like, share the live, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check on your people. Again, like I told y'all, book of the week. If you have not read it or if you need it, The Law of Human Nature by Robert Greene. It's a phenomenal read about people, how to deal with them, how to interact. I definitely think you can add it to your library, add the things you read. Phenomenal read by your boy. Next up, I will see y'all Wednesday. Make sure you tap in with me, man. Follow me on everything, comment on everything. I want to thank y'all for tapping in with me for another edition of Live on Sunday. Call your mom, check on your people, Call your sister, call your father, call your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're thinking about them. And most importantly, man, make sure you tap in with your family. Until next time, thank you. Keep it in with me. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. You tried to get in. Let me go ahead and drop it again in the chat. We got a person that's been ducking and dodging me for about 2 weeks. You tried to get in. Click it again. Hold on now, y'all. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer for this one. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Because the way you always talk, Mr. Dip Diamond, that you always talk, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You always saying something that you got something you got to get off your chest. You got 2 minutes starting now. But let me show y'all how the event went too while we doing it, while we waiting for this person. I'm going to give them a minute. If they don't get in, I'm going to tap on, off with us. Hold on. Show y'all some of the flyers, some of the good vibes, the good food, the good energy. Let me see if I can show it. It ain't popping up. This person playing, y'all. Until next time. Comment, like, share, subscribe.